We were born in a world-changing moment, and we are living in one now. Okay, so what I'd like to do is call on John to come and read the city proclamation. And John, you always have some rather moving extemporary remarks when I've heard you. So feel free also to contribute them if you're so moved.
Thank you, Herb. I was about to do that, so Herb is a smart guy. My mentor was a black woman, PhD from the University of Chicago, named Dr. Marie Fielder. And she was one of the great people in my life and messed around with me quite a bit in terms of getting me to look at things differently and setting a high standard. And as I was sitting here listening to that eloquent speech, and I don't throw that word around, that was very nice of her. It reminded me of times when Marie would get up in front of a room, often, and this doesn't apply to her, but often not knowing what she was going to say until she said it. And then when she said it, she touched on things that were so fundamental and profound and important to people that she just brought the room alive. And in this, as listening to what Herb was saying, the way that he wove together these threads that have to do with Peace House, and we'll hear more as we go through the program, I thought was really wonderful, because as a mayor of this town who is trying to build community, as sustainable community really, I think, is the vessel that's going to carry us through these very tumultuous times that we're just really starting to experience that in Ashland. It's always amazing to me how I'll come across a whole piece of history of Ashland that I knew nothing about, and most of the people who are actually have their hands on the reins of so-called power in this town don't have a clue. Either that, or some of them are just really frustrated because nobody else has a clue about it. So I think that this little meeting today with just a few of us about Peace House and where Peace House has come from and where Peace House may be going is a very important integrating link that sort of is knitting things together. And the only other thing I will say, with your kind invitation to extemporaneous, is that I gave my speech of the city, State of the City speech at the last council meeting. And at the end, I was talking about how the community collaborates with city government in providing this platform that sort of is the basis for all the other things that we do in town. And I was talking about, therefore, how crucial community is and how it depends on communication and it depends on the network of personal relationships. And then I said something that seemed to me like it was sort of foreshadowing this meeting, which is, and you have to work with your enemies because the future is much more important than the past. And I realize now that that was an unconscious linkage to what you're all about. So with that in mind, now let me read to you by an anonymous but very skilled author, the proclamation for this event. This year, Peace House will observe its 30th anniversary. It began in 1982 when its founders mobilized Ashland to join the global movement that lifted the shadow of nuclear destruction from the human race. In the years since, Peace House has publicly witnessed to the possibility of a world devoid of violence in all its forms. And in pursuance of its mission, Peace House educates residents of the Rogue Valley on major peace and justice issues and provides them with opportunities to act according to their own conscience. And through trainings and workshops, Peace House helps Ashland residents acquire the skills of nonviolent living and conflict resolution. And Peace House helps young men and women make informed choices about whether to join the armed services and supports members of the military who seek discharge on grounds of conscience. And since the establishment of Uncle Food's Diner in 1993, Peace House has provided care for the poorest of the city's residents, offering them not only meals, but also a place where their inherent dignity is acknowledged and affirmed by other members of the Ashland community. Now, therefore, the mayor and